I was subbing for a teacher a few months ago, and I was saying this, there's no one right way to have a baby. So we're going to go through all the options. And I, like, out of the corner of my eye, I saw this woman, 32 weeks pregnant, and she sort of like sighed in disbelief. And I had this thought hit me, and I was like, all right, hold on. I want to pause for a second. Follow me on a theory. I think that you hear me saying there's no one right way to parent. And you hear that from a lot of the email lists you're on and a lot of the Instagram ads you're getting, right? And somewhere in you, you think we're lying. You think that that's what we tell the average people who don't have the skills to get it right. But you believe that there is a secret club. And that secret club is only of the parents who are actually doing a really good job. And you want to be in the secret club. And this woman in particular, like, laughed so hard, like I had struck a nerve.
Hey mama, it is Celia from Bougie Mom Friends. If you are trying to find balance being an amazing mom while still trying to find time for you, you are in the right place. My co-host Cammie and I are here to talk about all of the things from trusting your instinct with your kids to carving out space for self-care and even indulging in a little pop culture escape. It's all about real conversations with moms who get it, because we're all about thriving, not just surviving. So take a breath, grab a drink, and join us, your Bougie Mom Friends. So is mommy wars more or less like an internal fight against yourself?
I mean, I've never heard it that way, and my mind is blown right now because, like, whoa, right? Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, when I heard the mommy wars, it was like the Facebook, like the beginning of blogging, right? Like essentially like when mom started blogging and you would have like two competitive blogs, or like then when people went on Facebook, there were like the original sort of internet wars of like these camps. But
if you pull it back, it's just a war with yourself.
Totally. Yeah, I see that. And that's the keeping up with the Joneses thing, right? It's just like there is a right way to do it. And I need to look like, sound like, act like this idealized version of whatever I think birth is, postpartum is, parenting is. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm going to feel like shame and guilt, and it's going to be hard for me.
Wait, so did we just cure mom shaming?
Done.
Mommy wars is mom shaming is you shaming yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't care about what anyone else was doing and you only chose the road for you, there is no comparison. There is no guilt. There is no shame. You do you. Like, you truly do you.
You don't like in other people what you wouldn't do yourself. So like, if I think sleep training is so wrong, that's my internal belief. Anyone that sleeps trained, I'm going to, identify as the enemy, right? So it's all about what's within, what you hold.
Right.
But if you just care about who the heck cares?
Just care about you.
Huge.
Ooh. No, I can't tell you how many people have come to us over the years and just been like, well, do you have resources on weaning? And we're like, yeah, sure. Like, why? And they're like, well, all of my friends weaned. And it doesn't matter what age the baby is, 4 months, 12 months, 18 months. And we're like, but why do you want to wean? And they're like, well, I don't really want to wean. I just thought I was supposed to wean right now. And we're like, okay, well, why don't you hit us up when you want to, right? Or people will write in and be like, do you have sleep support? And we're like, yeah, what's going on? And they're like, well, we're fine, but like our baby's still in our bed. And it's like, is that a problem for you? And they're like, no, it's really nice actually, but we thought we were supposed to. We have an exercise in our newborn care class actually to give away, the section of class that I love. And another teacher of mine, she was like, I don't really get this. I think we should cut it out of the curriculum. And I was like, no way. This is my favorite part of class. So we have this part of our newborn care class where we talk about bathing, and we play a true false game. And so there's like 4 prompts up there. And one is like, you should bathe your baby twice a week. When they're first born, you should use mild soap once a week. You should warm up the towel after the bath or plan to hold them skin to skin. And something else. Oh, like you shouldn't take them in the shower until they're 6 months. And we have people fill out whether those prompts are true or false. And right at the end, we're like, you guys, you missed the whole point of the activity,
Yeah.
right? Like it's none of these are true or false. What is the pattern? And then they read back and they're all should statements. And so the exercise in our, newborn class, which is really like an early parenting class, is how can you as a parent put on these glasses to start recognizing should statements? So if someone, a pediatrician, a lactation consultant, your sister-in-law, your mother-in-law, like whoever, if they're hitting with you with like a you should XYZ, your immediate response needs to be why, right? Like under what conditions might that be right for me? And then you have to see if that lines up with your personal values and like what you want out of parenting.
That is huge. I love that so much. You would have cured so many things for me as a first time mom. Because so many people, like people have opinions out of their wazoo. And yeah, it's just a way to just shut it up.
But that's their own you got to be like, that's your own mommy war. Okay. It looks like you have a battle within yourself. I'm drawing my boundary. I'm in my own mommy war.
That's such an important thing.
Wow. My mind's a little bit blown because when you're so vulnerable, the shoulds, the woulds, the I did this, the you could try this, they really start to sink in to your cerebellum.
Yeah.
And they just sit there and you're just like, wow, like, do I need to do this? And a lot of times, like most of the advice I got, I found I did opposite. Like, let's just talk quickly about sleep training if we have a little bit of time. Like, I love sleeping with my baby, and like Lakin's now too. I mean, I for myself did it in a safe way, but like in order for everyone to sleep, like even at 2, like he's in our bed. And I feel sometimes a lot of heat about it from people, and people will outwardly say things to me.
I mean, first of all, I'm just so sorry. Like, I'm sorry that people feel right. They are in their own little mommy war. They're in their own parenting war where they want to give you advice or defend themselves because they also feel guilt. And like, we can just pause on that for a second and say, it's really a uncomfortable reality to realize that we are everything to these small people.
Yes.
Right? Like the weight of that responsibility cannot be avoided, even by being confident, even by thinking critically. Like, even if you're like, yeah, I trust all the decisions I'm making. I feel really good. I'm non-judgmental. I'm going to do my thing. You're still responsible for who this person is. And that is heavy. Right.
Yeah.
And we all have parents and it's all their fault. So I think that there is something unavoidable about the fact that there is a weight to the decisions we make, and we can worry. And when it's unchecked, when that worry, runs rampant, then we can catastrophize that like X is going to equal Y, right? The fact that your kid is in your bed at 2 means something about who they're going to be as like a 36-year-old income earner, which is not true.
No.
But like we can acknowledge that people can make that leap and that jump. And then, the second part is, I think what I feel is sort of a deeper level that's complicated about comparing yourselves to others is that what happens when we are judgmental, when we give people advice, when we talk about these things that feel vulnerable and personal to us, is I feel like we wind up then surrounding ourselves by people who make the same choices because it validates who we are, right?
Oh,
and that's where we get these sort of like continually sort of self-fulfilling binaries, right? Of like the crunchy moms or the silky moms or whatever, because we're always surrounding ourselves by the people that make us feel good about ourselves, as opposed to feeling good enough about ourselves that we can hang out with people who are making different parenting choices.
Wow.
I love the thought that you're having. So pause on that for a second. It's interesting.
Yeah, the thought that I'm having right now is I'm starting to realize the different people I know, specifically the mamas I know, all kind of congregate amongst the similarities.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of blown. And what's really interesting, although I hate to admit this as a single person, I'm going to, and if you're listening, I don't mean to offend you, but the moms that I thought I would jive with are actually the moms I don't like as much to hang out with. I like find myself now that I'm a mom being very much more into like the side of the block where it's like a little bit more traditional and like the kids are outside in the front, not in the back. And like you're talking amongst each other, where I thought I was going to be the mom where it's like, oh, hi, good to see you. And then I'm in my backyard playing and I'm kind of just like off to myself.
That's me.
Yeah.
We're friends.
But we're friends. We're kind of good examples. But like I'm always with those moms that are very like-minded, and I don't think to hang out with the moms that aren't. And now I'm like going to change that. I'm going to like get on my phone and be like, let's do a play date in the backyard.
I mean, yeah, see how it goes. I don't know that I'm like proposing like a new way of interacting. I just think that there is something interesting there, but it would be cool to like do a low key anecdotal, let's ask a few people about this.
Well, I mean, to your point though, it kind of goes back to like you're around like-minded people because it validates you. But why aren't we putting ourselves into more spaces where we don't feel validated and learn to appreciate others?
Because society is so polarized right now.
I know, because of the marketing and stuff. Like we almost need to go like strongly against the grain, and that's going to take women having to really lean in and try.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have to try. And if we just stick to our status quo, we're just going to stay in the same place, doing the same thing with the same people.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. Like I love the idea that, you know, the birth murder framework and understanding someone's why, right? Like, let's say you're hanging out, like you guys co-sleep and you're hanging out on vacation with friends who sleep train. And you might want to sit on that sofa at bedtime when that baby goes in and cries for 5 minutes and be like, oh my God, I can't believe they're letting that baby cry. Like, oh my God, like we can't go on vacation. Oh my God, I'm so stressed. And instead you could be like, okay, physiologically, is there enough evidence to believe that this is going to damage this human being? Right? Like, no, right? There might be some evidence out there about like long-term stress on babies, but if this family loves their baby and this baby cries for 5 minutes and then goes to sleep
They're
and
totally
sleeps through the night and wakes really
Yeah.
happy, like that baby is chilling, right? And that family has figured something out that works for them. And you can be like, yeah, they've figured it out. Like, I'm going to go outside for a walk. I don't like to hear the baby cry. But then that family is going to be like, oh, we're going to lose them for an hour because she's going to go lay with the baby in bed. And like, that's okay. Like, how can we be friends with someone who's making a different choice? And literally just have it be that you are making a different choice. Like, you like mushrooms on your pizza? Wow, I really don't, but that's okay. We can
you can order a half and half pizza.
Yeah. So I think with sleep training, you know, when we use the framework, there are all these things that go into something like sleep training or bed sharing. And the first one physiologically is that you have to push back societally, like physiologically and societally, on the fact that bed sharing is the most dangerous thing, because that is absurd. That is fear mongering. And that comes from really intense marketing in the parenting industrial complex. It is proven again and again and again that cross-culturally, bed sharing is totally safe. That is the biological norm for humans as an animal species, right? If certain criteria are met. So if you are breastfeeding, if your baby is full term and healthy, if there's no secondary smoke and there's no drugs or alcohol usage and there's no loose pillows or blankets around and you're on a firm surface, you are safe to sleep in the bed with your baby. So that I feel very strongly about, because I don't want misinformation to make people terrified, right?
Yes.
And then make decisions that go against their instincts potentially.
Yeah.
Once you have that as a starting place of like, you have to be safe about bed sharing, but you can do it. And you have to be safe about putting your baby in a bassinet or a crib, right? The recommendation is still that the baby sleep in your room for the first 6 months and you're in sensory proximity to each other. Now we can have a conversation based on, okay, physiology is out of the way. As long as I'm safe, I can have the baby sleep on their own or baby sleep in bed with me. Then from there, we can talk, okay, the societal context primarily in North America is like never bring your baby into bed.
Yeah.
And so then we can talk about personal circumstance, right? Did you co-sleep with your parents? Are you from a culture where that is more accepted than another culture, right? Because that's huge. And then also, what's work like for you? Do you need to sleep train because you're going back to work and you need to be rested? Or do you want the baby in bed with you because you're going back to work and now night times are when you cuddle? Like, you can use whatever your personal circumstances to help you make that decision, as long as you are really being true about like what you value.
I think the big takeaway I got from this, which I love for me personally, and this is just my opinion, is you made the best point possible. Is your baby safe? And if your baby's safe, you're kind of just making a decision for you.
Yep.
It's for the mom.
Yeah.
And for the dad
family.
or for the whole family, right? Like what is best? Because for me, you nailed it for me. It's because I work full time and I manage a team and I'm emotionally exhausted. And at the end of the day, like I'm not 100%. So those extra hours overnight make me feel very connected. And I feel like I'm giving him the extra love that I need for Celia to be happy. And that's a Celia decision for Celia. And James loves it as well. And it's a decision, like you said, for our family. And I know a lot of people that sleep train because maybe they are light sleepers, or maybe the baby themselves doesn't want to be touched and wants, that independence. And yeah, it's really for each individual. I hate the narrative where it's like sleep training versus not sleep training. Do you see that a lot with parents?
All the time.
Why is that? Do you have an idea? Is it the mommy wars or?
I think, it's like the modern version of that. It's a modern version of another way I would say it is that I think that I hope that Gen Z pushes past this, but I think for millennial parents, we have the deepest desire to do a good job.
I know we
right?
do.
Like
We
it's
do.
like, oh my gosh, like we all need to just chill out. Like A+, you get an A+, now go do whatever you want, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Right? But like we want to get it right. We want to get it right. And we want external validation that we have gotten it right. That's how we were raised. That is like universally true about the North American millennial. That said, right? People are figuring out that there is no one right way when it comes to parenting. And so Birth Smarter says this. We have lots of like partnership brands that are saying this. There's no one right way. There's no one right way. And I realized I was subbing for a class. I don't teach that much myself anymore. I do some privates, but I was subbing for a teacher a few months ago. And I was saying this, there's no one right way to have a baby. So we're going to go through all the options. And I, like, out of the corner of my eye, I saw this woman, 32 weeks pregnant. And I saw her sort of like, I can't explain it, but she sort of like sighed in disbelief. And I had this thought hit me. And I was like, all right, hold on. I want to pause for a second. Follow me on a theory. I think that you hear me saying there's no one right way to parent. And you hear that from a lot of the email lists you're on and a lot of the Instagram ads you're getting, right? And somewhere in you, you think we're lying. You think that that's what we tell the average people who don't have the skills to get it right. But you believe that there is a secret club. And that secret club is only of the parents who are actually doing a really good job. And you want to be in the secret club. And this woman in particular, like, laughed so hard, like I had struck a nerve, right? And maybe not everybody feels that way, but I will say, I have a team now of almost 20 at Birth Smarter, and I have the second oldest kids on our team. And so I'm surrounded by moms of young ones. And not only do I have like the boss power dynamic, but I have the parent who's been around for longer power dynamic. And they are all, I think, maybe not all, I don't want to like be too egocentric, but many of them have outwardly expressed that they feel intimidated by me and my parenting,
Wow.
that they're comparing themselves to me and my parenting. And I like this, the only story I can tell to level set myself is I took my daughter Stuffy, her like pride and joy, right? Like, I don't know if your kids have a Stuffy, but that thing. And I threw it in the trash can when she was 5. I was so mad at her. I screamed at her. I picked up her Stuffy and I threw it in the trash and basically laughed in her face and was like, look at how powerful I am. Right. It took me a few hours to be like, that was terrible. I'm so sorry. Let's go get it and give it a bath. And I was crying and did lots of repair after the rupture. But like, I was like, you guys, it's really hard. It's really, really, really hard. And if I can use myself as an example and say, as someone with an early childhood degree who was a doula and a birth educator before I had kids, if I am struggling to the extent that I am struggling, right? Like if my marriage is going to break because of my kids, if I'm going to gain 40 pounds because of parenting, if I'm going to scream at my kids and sound like my dad, like not my mom, like I become my dad, like if anyone was going to figure this out, I was going to figure it out. And I haven't. It is so hard. I am so humbled. We have to be gentler on ourselves as a society.
Yeah. And it goes back to your core values, right? Like you're unbiased, right? You teach to be unbiased. I love that you guys are inclusive. Like you guys gear it towards like pregnant people, partners. Like you really are an inclusive birth community, which is so empowering. And you're accessible. Accessibility is everything in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, right? Because it's just, it's not that all of a sudden people are not one size fits all. It's that all of a sudden we have the power to make society not one size fits all, right? Because like different voices get to be heard. And so, if we know that people are having babies when they're 17 years old and when they're 47 years old, if we know that people are having babies when they're 102 pounds and 302 pounds, if we know that people are having babies at home and in hospitals when they're, like a Black woman and a white woman, like we need education to prepare people all along the spectrum of reality to have those babies, because there is no right way, but that has to be reflected inherently in the information and the preparation you're getting so that you feel seen, and in feeling seen can really feel confident in your journey and the choices you're going to make.
Also, I just want to say, Ashley, thank you for sharing that story, because it's very hard to be vulnerable and to share, like a non-perfect parenting moment. No one really wants to talk about that because everything's Instagram and perfect and pretty.
Yeah.
And so thank you. I mean, that really just shows no one's perfect. It's just a matter. I tell Celia this all the time. It's just a matter of time before you lose your cool. And so you just have to know what to do after.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is. Like go to the website, birthsmarter.com. Like the big takeaway is there's options and there's answers. And the best part is like, you're not telling people what the right answer is. You're just giving them options on how to get there and how to think strategically so that they can make the best informed decision for themselves. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah, please.
What do you do when you're not doing all of this? Like, what is like a day off to Ashley? I'm like really intrigued by you. I'm like, are you watching Bravo or are you going for a walk in Central Park? Like, I can't figure it out.
Yes. I love being outside. Like, I love it. Like, I'm so happy. I mean, my most favorite thing when I really need to unplug, I realized that I liked camping. I didn't know that when I was young, but that's new. But cool. In particular, if I go somewhere without cell phone service, I like shut my phone off and I don't take any pictures and I hang with my kids outside for 2 2 days. And like, that's awesome. So being outside or like hiking or paddleboarding, if I get the opportunity to do that, is a huge win. I'm very excited for tomorrow because the second batch of Bridgerton drops.
Yes.
So, you know, that is part of me decompressing too.
Pollen.
And I mean, I like try really hard to be present with my kids. And my son is 7 and he is planning to be the shortstop for the New York Yankees when he grows up. And I'm like,
that's a lot of practice.
Unfortunately, like super backing this ridiculous vision. And so I think I played catch once when I was a kid. And now I like throw a baseball, you know, almost every day. So I like lean into hanging out with them. And I love being outside and I love regular shitty TV. But I also like, you know, you started by asking me about Goldman Sachs and Tory Burch. And I will just say that being in the entrepreneurial space fills my cup so much right now.
Love
and
that.
So downtime for me is like reading business books and hanging out with founders. And like, I'm just really trying to figure this out, both for me and for Birth Smarter, because I do think it's what you have both heard here. I do think we have something that could really positively influence parenting culture. And I want to work so hard to get Birth Smarter to scale.
It's going to be so fun to watch your journey as it continues to grow. Like, we're so grateful for you to take the time to come on the podcast. I don't know if you have like a wait list to be your friend, but if you could just send me over the form or information, I'd be happy to fill that out. You truly are a miracle placed on this earth to help women. And we're really fortunate to be able to have this conversation with you.
Yes.
I mean, thank you so much. That's like the nicest honor. I would love to be your friend, and anybody listening, I would like love to be. I love to be with your friends. That's so nice.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's so refreshing. You're so smart.
You're down to earth.
You're so down to earth. Like, and you throw stuffies in the trash. So like, there's a dark side to you. Like,
I mean, can you imagine? Like, I honestly can't imagine hitting my kids. Like, I've been that frustrated where I've like physically restrained them and like, they're like, oh, you're hurting me. And I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, they're like, come
throwing
on.
a stuffy in the trash, I was like, wow, I went for her soul.
That's so funny. I'm like trying to picture you throwing it out and I can't.
Like smoke coming out of your eyes.
I mean, I think we covered everything. Is there anything that you'd like to leave the listeners with before we sign off?
Birth Smarter, I think like seems big to some people, but I'm never more than one person away from anybody you email if you don't email me directly. So I'm Ashley at birthsmarter.com. Info at birthsmarter.com works. Instagram works. Like, we're just, you know, to continue the theme, we're super accessible. So we'd love to answer questions for folks. But really, if you or someone you know is in your 3rd trimester or 2nd trimester planning, like, please come take our classes. They are worth it. They are unlike anything else out there and can really set you up to think critically, think creatively, and improvise in the moment. And they're so partner-centered. That's like another huge thing that we care a lot about. And thank you both for having me. I'm just psyched to be here.
Get to birthsmarter.com. Ashley, thank you so much. We hope everyone has a fabulous day.